right now is continuity. We have no reason to believe that there needs to be any dramatic shift in the kinds of activities that we're doing. And indeed, I think you could say that the success of the last few weeks it reaffirms our sense that our basic lines of operation have been the correct ones. But we're going to be consulting very closely with the new government, with civil society, with the opposition, to make sure that we calibrate this correctly and that we respond to some of the concerns that were raised in the course of the year-long electoral campaign. Concerns about transparency, rule of law, and so forth. Agriculture was mentioned, and that has to be an issue where we might take a more intensive look. And also we were struck by the role of youth and young people in the events of the last few weeks. And we're interested in, and this is something that Secretary Clinton is always asking us to focus on, the role of youth, the role of women. So we're going to be looking at the kinds of programming that we do there too. But in all honesty, right now, we're still digesting these events and considering how they should affect our programs moving forward. I would also remind you that we also, in the United States, have a little event coming up in about 3 weeks, which will have a lot to do regarding the direction of our foreign policy. I have no doubt that regardless of the outcome of the U.S. elections, U.S.-Georgia relations will continue to be strong. But there could be new personalities with different ideas about how we should calibrate our assistance. On the question about NATO, I had the same thought myself. There have been those who have thought that the quality of Georgia's democracy remains sort of a litmus test, and for NATO membership, this test would have to be addressed. Clearly, what happened this last 2 weeks is something that will have to be taken into consideration. And so I'm sure that there will be further discussion about this in Brussels and in Washington. And likewise, with the Strategic Partnership Agreement there, I would go back to saying that the basic framework for U.S.-Georgia security relations and the components of security, political, economic, and human rights, human dimension dialogue, those will all continue to move forward. And frankly, it's just too early to say right now how we would recalibrate some of those activities based on these developments. But there's been reference to the two sources of power, the two, pillars of two strong centers, but there's three strong centers, of course, because civil society is a very strong center. So we will be consulting very carefully with everyone who has an interest in how this process moves forward.